Hi, and welcome to Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and today I am here with Go for the Gold winner, someone who has worked with such studios as Vision Flicks, Raw Club, Culture's Den, fucking Camp Robinson, Next Door Studios, OnlyFans content creator who currently has a single out entitled I Think I Like Girls, and will be performing at the Comeback in Seattle on April 8th and performs at Mickey's WeHo every Sunday. Rico TV, how you doing today, sexy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm
I
good.
didn't even know that I was a part of all those studios. I mean, I've done studio porn, but I don't even know what websites my scenes are on.
Well, I mean, I had to do my research. I didn't want to like come in here just not knowing shit. Like, so as some people may know, you're in LA right now. Are you originally from LA, or did you just like move there at some point?
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles. I originally grew up in Carson, California, which is kind of like by Long Beach area, but now I live in Koreatown.
Oh, okay. So, were you a little effeminate as a kid? Because I know you like are a little bit like you blur lines very well. So I was just curious if you were.
Yeah, I had a little bit of sugar in my tank for sure when I was younger, but I also came up in the generation where like toxic masculinity is very present, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't
Well,
know,
I'm.
maybe in my school years, I kind of started to like, put on this like more masculine facade.
I mean, that's definitely something like even like I'm younger than you, and I still feel like that like toxic masculinity thing was still prevalent when I was a kid. Like I don't think it's ever gone away,
Yeah.
and it's a shame because I feel like in some ways it may never go away, and that's a little bit
Hmm.
like tragic. I feel.
Well, I definitely think it's a lot better than it has been in the past decades.
Yeah. So, what career did you do first? Were you into go-go dancing first, or did you do porn first?
Well, I started go-go dancing the second I turned 18. And go-go dancing is actually like my second job. I'm primarily, well, I was originally a professional dancer. So I got an agent as soon as I turned 18. I started doing music videos and TV shows and movies. And whenever I wasn't working, that's when I was go-go dancing. And I didn't actually start doing porn and OnlyFans until the pandemic happened, when everybody
That's
lost their jobs. So
yeah.
yeah,
Not everybody.
not
Of
everybody.
not everybody. Girl, I had to work through the pandemic. That's why when
Oh
people say
really?
like, yeah, I worked in a senior living home, so like when everyone
Uh,
said like we were in quarantine, I'm like, bitch, I still had to go to fucking work every day. Like, I didn't get any time off. I didn't get
uh,
time off till like hot COVID, and then
uh-huh.
even that, they rushed me back when I was supposed to have 7 days. They're like, nope, you're having 5. We need you back.
Oh damn. Well, it was nice. Okay.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was nice. So, what was it like for you filming Go for the Gold?
Honestly, I had so much fun doing it. I got a flyer in an email, random email, saying, "Would you like to win $10,000?" So that was really what pulled me in. But like, I'm a super huge drag race fan, so when I went into it, I kind of had kind of like a mindset of a little bit of a strategy, kind of
Yeah,
mindset going into it. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it.
I mean, in some ways, like looking back on it, at least what I remember, you were kind of portrayed as the villain for like a lot of
I
your.
mean, maybe if you could
Well,
look
they
at it like that.
well, I would say well, no, you probably like. Did they pitch you against um AJ, or was that more like you did that yourself?
Well, that was like a producer thing. It was
Yeah.
it was the producers after the first episode, they were like, okay, you guys are being a little bit too lovey-dovey. Like we would not mind if you guys got a little bit catty with each other. So that's when AJ was like, oh, great. So he was ready to jump on that, but he's already like super annoying and just fucking obnoxious on his own. So it was
Yeah,
really easy to like play into that.
yeah. I mean, like, I would say I'm not usually a confrontational person, but if somebody was like being fucking annoying, I would probably like get on them too and be like, "Girl,
Yeah.
like, why are you like that?"
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna ask you this. I explained this in an interview I did last Tuesday. Um, there's a term for your fans who don't know. There's a term called being on ice when you're not filming. That basically people can't talk to each other. So, what was it like being on ice while filming Go Go for the Gold, or were you guys on ice that often?
Okay, so the funny thing is, like, I've done every type of production from the lowest budget to the highest budget. This was a really low budget production, okay? So there wasn't, I mean, there they didn't there was no time for ice. Like we only had maybe we came in for like 4 hours of filming every day, so we weren't really on set for a long time. So like as soon as we jumped on set, it was filming, and then as soon as we were done, we were out. So there was no
Oh,
they
okay.
they never put us on ice, you know?
The one thing that I wanted to know about that, and I thought that may be your answer, because I interviewed Phoenix from For the Love of Dilfs last week, and he
Uh-huh.
told me basically like that whole set was pretty much not on ice at all, and they were like
Yeah,
living with each other. And to me, that seems like, but I mean, if you're only in there for 4 hours, it's like it's not like you're living with each other, so like
yeah, yeah.
you can't resolve shit off camera, like.
Right. Yeah, we were on our phones. We were talking to each other. Like it was really no rules. We were smoking weed. Like
That
we were doing the
sounds
most.
amazing. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. It wasn't too stressful.
So, how has touring been for you since filming Go Go for the Gold?
Well, I actually didn't tour with the show. I tour with um an artist named Todrick Hall. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not.
Yeah, of course I know who Todrick is. Yeah,
Um, but while the show was on, I was on tour with him, and we went all over the U.S. We went all over Europe, and it was a great time. I wasn't go-go dancing; I was just dancing on stage, doing choreographed numbers. So,
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't as fun
Yeah,
because when you're go-go dancing, you get to like, you get to drink, and you don't
yeah,
have any steps to worry about. So it's a lot more lax when you're go-go dancing.
yeah. And I wanted to ask you about that because, like, seeing your stuff, like, especially after the show, I didn't see you promoting much, so I felt like you worked more in LA, like,
Yeah.
since the show. So, like, but I mean, well, you talked to like people in the cast and like, is it the same sort of like a big deal when somebody from a show like Go for the Gold gets on there versus like somebody from Drag Race, which everybody like freaks out about?
Gets on what?
Like goes on tour and like goes to different places. Is it like such a big deal like showing up to clubs as it is for the Drag Race girls?
Yeah, honestly, it
Re-
is. Like I get the same kind of love whenever like I'm out in another city or another state. Like people recognize me and they're like, they treat me the way I would treat a drag race girl. So I don't know about the experience of the other guys, but it's been really cool for me.
That's great. Let's see. You already answered that. So which do you prefer more? I'm gonna say when filming. I'm gonna say which do you prefer more when filming porn? Do you prefer topping or bottoming more?
When I'm filming, I prefer bottoming more because it's a lot more predictable, like my situation, you know. If I go
Yeah.
into something and I know that I have to top, then it adds an element of like mental gymnastics where I have to be like, okay, I have to stay hard, I have to come, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit trickier as a top versus as a bottom, you could just fucking lay there and just take the dick, you know? So
Yep.
I would prefer to bottom, honestly, on camera.
Yeah.
But in real life, I prefer to top because I don't like to prepare and I don't like to, take too long to douche or whatever. So yeah,
Well, I mean, if you do all that, because this is something I will admit, I've had very few accidents, but like I don't douche at all. Like,
really,
no, I just know my body like well enough to where like I can like get ready before, and it's like what at least what I've
yeah,
found is you if you know what you're eating and you know like the time frame of when you're taking a dick next, you really don't have to do any of that stuff.
yeah. Well, the problem for me is I take a bunch of random dicks all the time. So
Yeah,
my cycle is just all over the place.
I mean I will get that. I probably did that more when I was like not living at home, because like living at home, it's
Uh,
like you got to find somebody who can like have a house or like find a way to like sneak you in, and it's just it's not fun. I honestly, that's why I have friends with benefits. It's just so much easier. I like having somebody who knows how to work me, isn't going to like
mm,
think that you can just like stick it in, or like that you don't have to like prepare me at all. Like
right.
so. Oh, so I mean, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you: have you ever been sexually harassed while go-go dancing?
Um, Most definitely. I think most go-go dancers go through some level of sexual harassment or some type of unwanted touching. For me personally, like I'm very like aware of this type of situation that I put myself in, you know? So if someone is like too belligerent and they're doing things that are obviously like inappropriate and too much and like without consent, like I have the mental capacity to like not let it get to me to where it's going to upset me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But there are times when people are drunk and they're just doing too fucking much and I have to like push them away or give them a dirty look, you know what I mean? But it's not too often. You know, times are a little bit better now. People are less aggressive in the clubs I've noticed nowadays they have been in the past. So,
yeah.
I think it's getting better.
I will say like I am someone who's very much an advocate of like not touching people who don't want to be touched in a way that they don't want to be touched, because as someone in drag, I had somebody at one point. I was performing at the Parliament House, and like literally somebody pulled off my wig because I don't like because I sing live, so I don't need to like pin in my wigs and like tape everything down. So it's like I know where my hair is gonna be.
Right.
And somebody just like I it was like, I want to see what you look like, and they just grabbed my wig, and I was like, you're lucky
Yeah.
I'm nice, because like if I was in the wrong
Yeah.
kind of mood, I would have taken off my shoe and beat you upside the head with it. Like,
Right.
cause especially cause like I had to sit in the window and like fix like my part and everything, and it was just it's one of those things where I'm like, I just I don't get people like not knowing how to touch people, like people just thinking like they can just meet somebody and like grab their dick without like asking them. Like that to me seems fucking crazy. Like I'm as horny as like
Yeah.
anyone else. I wouldn't do that to somebody. I wouldn't do that to. Yeah, I had a friend who did that once to somebody when we were at like the bar, and I felt like looking at this person be like, "Girl, what are you doing?" Like, I don't know. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I just hope people get it together because that's one of the cons about nightlife. It's like some people just get too drunk and just don't know how to fucking act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you just have to like pick and choose like your situations because there's always gonna be a fucking random drunk person doing some inappropriate shit. You know?
Yeah. So, okay. Have many people judged you for blurring the lines between masculine and feminine while modeling or go-go dancing?
You have people judge me for it?
Yeah.
No, I actually think that it's like more of a strong suit for me. Sorry, somebody's texting me right now.
Yeah, that's alright.
Um, I think that it's like kind of a superpower for me to be able to like switch back and forth between like a masculine and feminine, role. So, no, I haven't really experienced too much negative with that.
I will say that's definitely like something good to hear because like I just had an interview with somebody Sunday who's like talking about how they're a little bit more feminine, like they'll wear skirts when they have sex and like all of that. And somebody told them like, if you want me to fuck you, you basically have to get rid of your nails and have to do all this. And I'm like, why the fuck would you do that to somebody? If you can't take somebody as they are, then you
Hmm.
shouldn't be like trying to fuck with them.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you're interested in somebody, then that should be it. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be fighting and going backwards and telling somebody that they need to do this or do that. I don't think that's right.
No, it's like the craziest part. I will know this as like somebody who does drag and like has sex in sometimes in drag, sometimes out of drag, and like somebody's like, I would definitely have sex with you in drag, but out of drag, I'm like, I'm still the same person. Like, the difference is I don't have as long a hair. But, like,
Right.
other than that, it's not like I put on a fake voice. Like, I just, some people do that in drag, like, love them for that. My voice is my voice. Like, I'm not changing shit for anybody.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so what brands have reached out to you for modeling since Go Go for the Gold?
Not very many.
Really?
I worked for Nasty Pig, and I worked for Top Jock. Those are two companies that reached out to me. They're really awesome brands. Top Jock, specifically, their specialty is like they make like custom jocks and thongs out of like real jeans, like actual pairs of jeans.
Wow, that's
And that's what
awesome.
I wear every single time I go dance because they like custom make it to you. Like they'll find a pair of jeans, they'll fit it on you, and like it like covers your hole in the right way. It holds your dick in the perfect way. So I really appreciate Top Jock for their functionality. Nasty
Yeah.
Pig, they have just some amazing designs and some amazing style. So I'm very appreciative that those brands reached out to me.
I'm surprised. I mean, granted, as you said, the show wasn't like big, but you're the winner. Like,
Uh huh.
I could understand if you were like
Yeah,
the
I
first.
haven't really gotten.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
were the
I
first
haven't
bitch
gotten too
eliminated,
much like.
like the one that nobody
Yeah,
remembers,
I
like,
haven't really gotten. Yeah, I haven't really gotten too many gigs or anything from the show, but the right people who I needed to see it saw
yeah.
it. So like, yeah.
Well, you probably like. I would say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong about this. You probably did the show for exposure. Like, I mean, granted,
Yeah.
yes, you wanted the money, but like, you knew the exposure, even if you lost, was going to be bigger than anything you were doing presently before you went in.
Yeah. Uh huh. and like a lot of people know my name now. For me.
Yeah, so it just means you can't be problematic if you want to be anymore.
Right.
Okay, do people think who don't know you, do you think people think you have an extremely high sex drive because you do sex work and go-go dance?
You know that's so funny. Yes, just because I post my sex online, people
Yeah.
have this idea that like I'm just likes to be sex all the time, and that is just like not the case. Like ever since I started doing sex work, I've noticed that I don't have as much sex as I used to. And I don't know if it's because like I'm trying not to get, as many STDs as I had before. I don't know what the
Yeah.
reason is, but I just don't have as much sex as I did before, which is really
Well,
strange. But yeah, my boyfriend, he's like, he's he gets mad at me because like I'm never in the mood. But I'm like, babe, like what do? You do? There's no button, turned it on,
well,
you
it's
know?
all. Well, it's also probably like I don't know how long like OnlyFans shoot is, but I know shoots are. But like I know like when you do like porn sets, shoots, you're on them for like 12, 14 hours. Like I could not imagine you wanting to after 12 to 14 hours of having sex, wanting to go home and have sex. Like
Yeah,
no,
no.
and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I feel most OnlyFans or most creators I've talked to, like I just talked to somebody Sunday. It's like, and the way he like tweeted, I'm like, girl, you seem like you want to be on a dick every hour. And he's like, no, I'm just doing that because I think of something and like that's what I put out. And I'm like, I have a sex drive, but like I don't have that kind of a sex drive. Like,
Yeah. Well, once you start having sex with beautiful men like all the time, after a while it starts to become like, okay, like I did it, like the excitement is not really as big as it was before.
yeah, and especially like on porn sets, you're probably taking big dicks, like just because like of the
Yeah.
nature, and like even on OnlyFans, you're probably doing stuff with big dicks. So it's like, yeah, obviously you're not gonna like you've been rammed with like an 8, 10, 12 inch dick for like hours. You're not gonna want to come
Mhm.
home and be like, babe, let's fuck. Like that's not gonna happen.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would say probably like I'm one of those people. Maybe porn is the right thing for me because like I'm thinking like I'm one of those people who wants sex like every day, and I just that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
I'm like I'd love to, but I'm too busy. Like having a life.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, what was the freakiest thing you've either been asked to do or have done on a set or in an OnlyFans video?
Hmm. The freakiest thing that I have been asked to do was in my mouth. And like for a long time, for a very long time, I had like this piss fetish. Like I would always jack off to piss videos and like always just like I want to do that. Like I want to experience that. So
Yeah.
I was doing a porn scene one time, and the director asked me if like with it, and yeah, like I wanted to try it because like I've been jacking off to it for years, so of course I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
But like I feel like when you do piss porn, you're supposed to maybe like drink a gallon of water or something before you do it, so that way like it's
Yeah.
clear when it comes out.
Yeah.
This guy didn't do that. I'm just taking somebody raw piss.
Yeah.
and it grossed me like the fuck out. Like I was so grossed out. I could still smell it for like hours after, so that was probably the freakiest thing. Yeah.
See, I feel like that's something where like in theory that sounds like a good idea, but in actuality, you should like never do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that I would have liked it under better circumstances, but I don't know. Maybe it's not for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not for me either. Like the idea of like having someone pee on me, like no, just
Yeah.
it's like I'll pee on you, but like I'm not having you pee on me. Like that's
Right.
so. As I mentioned before, you have a single out now called "I Think I Like Girls." Was that single a way of like being tongue in cheek in like what you wanted to tell people, or was like that a way of you like saying you're bisexual?
Kind of both, honestly. Um, the reason I wrote the song is because when I was on tour last year with Todrick, I actually met this girl who I developed a crush on, and I wrote the song about her. But not only is it, just because like I'm ready to be experimental or whatever, but I also like when I was writing the song, like I wanted to create something that like is not a typical gay song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, there is a little bit of tongue in cheek in there, but there is also some reality in it too.
yeah. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with like creating stuff that's not the typical gay song. Like as a
Yeah.
songwriter, I create stuff that's like it has like a club beat to it, but a lot of times I'm talking about like darker shit that like isn't like walking the club purse first and like just
Right.
and I will say as someone who writes songs, there is a downside to that because sometimes you're saying something and like even if you like put lyrics on the song for somebody, they still don't understand.
Hmm.
Okay. Can you talk?
Yeah.
Okay. It's weird. Like you just zoned out completely, so
Oh
that's
no,
why we.
you like disappeared for a second.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird technology. So. Anyway, I was saying like, where was I? I don't know. I'll just go to my next question. So, well, obviously you said you had a boyfriend. You have a boyfriend. Like, so was it? Okay, I'll ask it this way. Was it hard for you dating being a go-go dancer before, like you met your boyfriend?
Yeah, it was hard. Um, I never really dated before. Like I just fuck guys. But my previous boyfriend, before my current boyfriend, he had an issue with me go-go dancing. He was a little bit more traditional in the sense that he didn't want me, out there dancing for other guys. So that, kind of put a wrench in our relationship. So I would say that, yeah, it does affect like your dating life. That's anyways, like if it finds me, then it finds me. But I'm not going and looking for a boyfriend or a date or somebody, like I don't feel like I need that. Like I can do it all on my own,
Eh,
you know?
exactly. Like that is the way that like I feel. Like when I tell people my age, they're like, it's like I can't believe you're not dating anybody. It's like first of all, I'm living at home, so like it's not like I can exactly bring somebody over whenever I want. And it's like,
Hmm.
also, I want to move. So, like, I don't want to, like, get into a relationship with somebody because, like, I will say, I know you're from LA. I'm from Florida, and I've lived here my whole life, and I fucking hate it here. Like,
Hmm.
I'm just so ready. Everyone's like, Florida's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, except for the fact that you're surrounded by, like, conservative idiots
Yeah.
pretty much for everything.
Hmm.
And it's like, I just, I will say, being out of when I lived in Orlando, so like when living in a city, you find that like you're around more open people and you're around like people with different experiences. Once you get back in a small town, it's like everyone just thinks one way,
Yeah.
and if you dare to like say something different, most people are just gonna like interject and say like, "Oh, you're wrong. This is the way it should be," and it's like that's why I will say like I'm someone who like usually watches the news a lot and actually doing this interview and like being doing interviews on Tuesday. I used to do a political show and now I'm like taking a step back from it and it feels like so much more at ease for me because I don't have to like
Hmm.
get angry that often and be like angry. So let's see.
Hmm.
I am just skip that. Sorry, I'm just checking to see like if I said everything. Actually, yeah, no, I think I did everything. So I will say, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Um. Anyway, fuck. I don't know. Fuck it. I'll end
It's
things.
okay.
I know that's the one thing. Like, I'm someone who is like ADHD brain. Like, I had ADHD. I'm like one of those people who, like weaned off of pills. So it's like I'm usually good to like focus in general, but like sometimes my brain goes like a mile a minute and like
Yeah.
just can't think. Yeah. No. I
I
think
feel you.
so. Yeah. That's it. So anyway, Rico, it was great talking to you. I
It was a
didn't
pleasure.
thank you. And anything else you want to plug before I end things?
Yeah. Come watch me dance at Rocco's on Mondays and Make Out Mondays with Ray Latre. Come see me
Or
dance at Wasted Wednesdays at Mickey's with Cake Moss and Barty's Addiction. And come see me dance on Sundays at Ice Cream Sundays with Stefano.
okay,
Follow
actually,
me on
well,
OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/backhead.
yeah. One thing real fast, like you just pointed out something, so I just thought of something. So are you like really good friends with Rhea, or like how did you like meet Rhea?
I've been dancing for with Rhea for over 10 years, so yeah, we're pretty good friends. I love Rhea.
Yeah, I mean, Rhea is someone like obviously I met through Willem. I'm like a huge fan of Willem,
Hmm.
cause and like Rhea doing music, all of it. I just love all of it. There's someone like I will say that's what I'm so grateful for Drag Race is that like it allowed me to like see people who are like from LA and like meet their friends and like learn stuff about them.
Hmm.
I'll say, yeah. Anyway, so you plugged all that. Anyway, this is Gay Out the City. I've been your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and I hope you've enjoyed. And